we are back one more again. Bourbon with a splash of sports. And we are here live for you. Got T-Rock in the house. To my left, we got Will. I am.
What up, what up, what up?
Got Don, the Don over there. And my man Ron G. We'll be covering some good stuff and some bourbons as well. So, let's see what kind of bourbon we got here now.
Well, I mean, today's bourbon, we staying at home today. We staying at home, in Straightville. It's one of the spots they got downtown. But we have Angel Envy today. Angel's Envy. Now, you talk about smooth. Angel Envy is some of the smoothest bourbon you will be drinking. I'll tell you that. This one right here is just a small batch. 86.6 proof. Mash bill. 72% corn. 18% rye. And, 10% malt. I knew it was something sitting there. But, so let me hand this out to y'all, gentlemen. There we go, sir.
Strictly sniffing.
We already got it full already. Wait. And Ron G, Ron G already, he's already been with the pouring of today already. Ron G. So yeah. Toast to another show of bourbon with splash of sports.
Okay. Toast to the old guy too. Just turned 51.
Oh yeah. T-Rock.
The young guy.
One more time. Let's bring it in one more.
Right.
The young guy.
Appreciate you. One time.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Y'all nosing that. Y'all hit that nose.
They already drunk it.
Hit that nose.
Hold on.
What do you smell?
Hold on. I got the taste of my mouth.
Oh, okay.
It's permeating my nose.
Yeah, he smells both.
Get that nose.
Yeah, at least do that.
Smell. Yeah.
See, I'm getting some vanilla.
Get some cinnamon.
Some vanilla. Some fruit.
Some ether.
Yeah. Some stuff that will set your car on
you
fire.
do get
Some
you
corn.
do get the alcohol. You do get the alcohol.
Get that caramel.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Caramel.
some of that caramel.
And then I think this is like with some tobacco, like some raisin up with some tobacco. This would be a good one to have you. It's a good cigar with. Cigars now they're just allowed to have cigars now. We can have cigar bars now.
Right.
They just passed.
Really? I didn't know that wasn't a thing.
Okay. Yeah, there's a nice little permit for that at first or something like that.
Word up.
That's good stuff, though. That's good stuff. Yeah. Look.
Pick up some.
We'll just go to taste next.
Okay.
I'll let you know here in a minute.
They say they already tasted it. Oh, man. Let me pull the stuff and see what's going on with this real quick. Oh, man. First of all, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And don't forget, 54 Sport Network has plenty of shows on and actually has a new show that's going to come out next week. Y'all seen it on the Will Show. You've seen it on 54, the Derby City Sports Review Show. So the Submission Show. The co-host is going to be T-Rock and the Don. They're going to get y'all ready. Big old event. WrestleMania is happening, so they're going to recap that for you guys this week. Real quick, we know this is Bourbon with Splash of Sports, and this is sports. So, what are y'all looking forward to for WrestleMania?
For me personally, I'm always wanting the surprise, right? There's always like a big surprise. Like the one year when the Hardy Boys came back, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I lost my mind. Like, I felt like a kid all over again. And I was like, oh my God!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? The matches themselves are going to be good. I think a lot of the entrances will be fantastic. You know what I'm saying? What they call it, showcase of the immortals. But I feel like, I want that one surprise, maybe two. Surprise is like, oh, I didn't see that one coming, right? Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I feel that. Surprise, that's what I I like that too. I'm like, see, I call the OMG moments. You know, you got to have the OMG moments and everything else. Something's going to pop off. Something's going to happen unexpectedly. That's what you're looking for. Something to happen unexpectedly that you didn't think that was going to happen. To be like just drop your chin and leave your mouth wide open like, oh my God, that actually did. And then give me something that'd be like, all right, good job. I mean, Triple H and, the rest of them, good job. I can applaud y'all by the end of the night because as I've seen some pay-per-views that's kind of stale at times and this and that, and it's so predictable. But this is WrestleMania, so WrestleMania almost can't never be good.
Some shenanigans.
It's always gonna be shenanigans.
As T-Rock said, shenanigans.
Love me some shenanigans.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. We got some stuff out here that hopefully is not shenanigans, but we're gonna rock and roll with it. Let's go on and get it, and we're gonna get it for you guys so you can really see this stuff. So T-Rock, I'll go ahead and do this. How much do the agents influence the players and their families to jump into transfer portal?
My personal opinion, I think it's a lot. The agents make money based on these players. Right now, I don't know. I'm sure you hear 10% and stuff like that. So they always want to try to get the players and their families the most money as possible. You know what I'm saying? While at the same time lining their pockets. I don't personally see it at this level. NBA is something different. I do not see it at this level as a good thing because you're still dealing with 18, 19-year-old kids, right? You're dealing with folks who, may not be living well, you know what I'm saying, in that lower economic bracket. So I understand wanting the money and wanting to get money, right? And the agent's job's always to get you money. Right. But I don't feel like every agent is in the best interest of the player or their family. It never happens that way. It just doesn't, right? So in my personal opinion, I think their influence is great because again, you're dealing with just not 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids, but you're also dealing with their families who may not have anything at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion.
But you know what? To me, it's almost 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Because we've talked about this before, going to these games and how these parents is really, not even just on the sidelines, but really involved in communicating with these kids like no other. So to me, when you get to that level, and they have invested so much in them, they have an agent. I get it. And it is a good influence because they're going around talking to people. But their family is right there with it. Mm-hmm. And we're also tugging because they done heard what the agent said and like, hey, let's go over here. I mean, we done seen it happen. Tennessee. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shopping around, dude. The agent shopping around, and the people was like, yeah, we can go ahead and make more money. Dude, you average 189 passing yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to look at things, really look at it. But that's what's killing this. I mean, great idea. And, and it really is getting away from the name, image, and likeness. You know what I'm saying? That's the video game. Let me get paid for y'all using my name and stuff. Yeah. This is free agency. So, yes, the agent is, and that's the one who's tampering. Everybody's tampering now because you play somebody that lit your ass up.
Man.
All of a sudden, when the transfer portal hit, this dude's on your roster.
Yeah.
And this didn't happen overnight. Dude, you saw a dude, you like what he did, and you like, okay, let me go ahead and get that. So you got that back deal going, right? You got that back deal with the agent. But that family, too, yeah, it can be, it's too many people in the portal. We see it.
Yeah. I think another thing is, fortunately, market economics, the way the job market kind of works, even works like that with regular employees.
True.
The way to get market value is to stay in the market. You see what I'm saying? There's very few people that you work at a job 10 years, about 7 years into experience, you might have got another job and made another jump because they paying market value. They give you a little raise according to the schedule. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that reality, your parents know that. So if they, so the agent, it's kind of like it's ready. It's like the environment is set up well to where the agent can just walk in like, well, the way to get market value is to stay in the market. So, and I think the other thing is you can go in the portal and come back.
Right.
So when it's not like you just guarantee, like, I'm gonna go check it, like testing the
Test
waters,
the waters.
test the waters of the draft. You test the waters of the portal to see if somebody's out there that's willing to give you a bigger check.
I think going on what you said, I think your chances to come back is better on these smaller colleges, just these smaller universities, just because when it's out there to know that somebody's got 10 to 12 million and you playing games with me, it's an ego thing. Oh, well, I just go get hit. Like for instance, we had a whole bunch of movement this week already with the transfer portal.
Yep.
Then yesterday, everybody, I mean, starters that you didn't even know was coming out like, hey, hell, I can get what for? 4 million, 3 million. Like, what is going on, man? Like, for real. We talked about this a little bit before. Something's gonna have to be done because this is getting crazy. Right. Even the free agency's not this long.
Right. That's over.
All
year.
That's how the world is. Myself is, I was just looking at something just the other day, and I'm just going to step on football for a quick second. So, as the portal just opened back up for the football, as the spring portal.
Yep.
So, as of, 2 days ago, when it opened back up, there was 10,271 players in the portal. There were 6,426 players as D1 players. There was 3,845 D2 and D3. Now, are all these guys going to get on the team? Hell no. They're going to be stuck, as I like to call it, portal multiverse. As in just like the MCU universe. I mean, it's crazy. But I look at it as in, you got families. I think it's a lot of those families in it. Like, we've seen it done. I ain't going to say no names, but we've seen dads touching down in this university, down Tennessee, down south, this university up here, Louisville, at one upon a time in the women's game. We've seen, the parents are highly involved. I mean, I guess they like, as in
my investment.
That's exactly. I've been taking my time. I've dedicated, as in my life, as in everything, and getting you where you at. And I'm a part of this.
Yeah, it's me.
So I think I shall. And plus, these are kids too. We got to think of that. They are kids. Once they get Hallie, they get older and they start testing. But when they test those waters, sometimes they fall in head deep down in the deep end waters, and they can't get back up.
You can really break it down, and you can break it into sports. And really, it's actually like it's how hard it is to make it to the NBA, how hard it is to make it to college basketball. It is hard in football, but it's more opportunity. Yep. It's a bigger roster.
Yep.
So you just flip it. It's easier for a basketball player to go in there who's the sixth man and say, "Bro, what you paying me, man? What's going on? You gave me $250,000. I'm gonna need $500,000 this year. I led and this." Football, dude, it's if you're not the baller, and that's the problem. We got people who didn't even get a snap, got 2 snaps and a blowout win, and they transfer after the spring games. Like, what's the deal? Like, what are you at? It's different to transfer because I think I'm better than T-Rock. I'm better than them, and I'm not getting my shine. If you transfer because you want money and you're the sixth running back, then come on, daddy, mama.
Yeah.
Come on, the agent should be like, what we do? First of all, I'm stealing your money because you ain't getting nothing anyway, except for the teal.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I think that's. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I feel like a lot of this also falls on the schools. If your agent is going to negotiate something for you and say, this kid needs $4 million, and the school is going to pay it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is probably a terrible analogy, but it's like, these farmers who had these, immigrants on their stuff, and you know what I'm saying, I'm paying them slave wages to go out here and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And now you're going to see if these farmers are going to actually pay people to come and actually work for you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of on the universities. It's like if let's put it to you like this: if an agent came to me and said, "All right, this kid is thinking about coming to play for you. He wants $3 million." I say, go look for another school because I refuse to believe that it's. I mean, unless you are the next coming, unless you are like a LeBron, or you know what I'm saying, you are that special for me to pay you that kind of money. There's no way in hell I'm going to pay you this kind of money to come play for this school. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
It doesn't make financial sense, but schools will do it.
well, first of all, NCAA, that's who's the fault. That's
Yeah.
point. You know, we don't even know half time. We don't even know they exist. You know what I'm saying? And so either bow completely out, let them come with the Power 5 and get shit together. That's number one. Number two, it's kind of like Ron said about the market. All it takes is one.
Yeah.
See, the problem is that you had Miami, Florida, paid Carson Beck $4 million allegedly dollars, and everything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's only a few schools that you're gonna get $4 million from. So really, you have really narrowed your choices down. Not everybody's paying it. It's some people who can afford it, but they're not going to pay it because their coaches. First of all, they seen your tape. Tennessee, do they seen your tape? Come on, man. Like, that's bogus. Even though you feel that you're better than Carson Beck, but Carson Beck was probably just a tad better than you, and you're not getting that. Not everybody's got that. So I mean, I'm with you. The university say no, stop it, or whatever. But come on, man, let's have a come to Jesus talk with everybody and say, dude, you know you're not worth $4 million. Stop it. All right.
I want to know if the agents are looking at, okay, so I'm over here playing down in here, and he looks up at this guy that's playing in Ohio State. And just like, I think the coach even mentioned it, like the wide receiver,
Oh yeah,
Mr. Smith.
Coach Brown.
Yeah, so he was like, look, you know, he's not better than him. He's getting paid this much. Are the agents looking comparing, as in the wide receiver over here, the top wide receiver who's getting 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns?
So why would they do that if they don't do that in the NFL?
See,
The next man up.
But it's still,
The
you know,
next man
like,
up.
it's still, it's like they
That
get
ain't
off the
right.
scale.
Yeah.
Are they looking like, okay, he's getting this. My man over here is top his numbers, but he's making less than him. Are they trying to renegotiate? I mean,
They need yeah. That's the whole problem.
That's the
They
thing.
are.
so now it's like, no. Like,
It's
I mean, the party. I mean, I guess it's as with anything. You know, a few bad apples spoil a bunch. But what happened if you have a whole orchard? You see what I'm saying?
Right,
Because
right.
I mean, real talk. We know what the portal. We really talk about the great use of the portal is like a guy that's balling out at a lower level school, and he always goes to the portal
Yes.
to try to move up
Yes.
something. Or maybe to the movie we were talking about earlier, a guy who's only getting a couple snaps, realizing, hey, let me drop down a little bit to maybe a mid-major school, and then I get my legs under me, maybe start
Right.
balling out. You might even be able to come back. Like that's kind of
You
stuff.
see
That's what you really
Yeah.
want to get out of the portal. That's where it really can kind of provide opportunities. But when basically it's like a pool, like it's like people, some of these quarterbacks, and I don't give a daggone what was going to happen this year. I'm going to portal at the end of the year
Oh yeah.
because it's like a ritual
Yeah.
to make sure that I'm getting top dollar.
True.
You see what I'm saying? And you know we'll talk about it a little bit later. But at some point, there's going to be like it's going to be like a cap.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like the
Absolutely.
same reason that NFL teams you can't just pick. I would love to get number one receiver, number one running back, number one offensive tackle, number one. But there's a reason you can't do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because even without a cap, your checkbook got a cap. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So so there's just certain realities that I think right now is just the agents are making sure like you don't even see it because in their mind, I want you to push for the top dollar because 10% of the top dollar is better than 10% of the bottom dollar.
did you just mention John Cena? You can't see.
Well, thanks. You good. You good. All right, Don, what we got next?
We got next.
All right, now we all going to take another taste again. That's all.
Okay.
You know, so. Let that
What are you tasting?
let that smooth, let that just linger in your mouth a little bit. Let that linger on top of your tongue. Let that smooth right there on your tongue. Just lay there a
Get
little
it back
bit.
on my tongue.
Yeah, you gotta let that lay there.
I drank a beer a little bit. Hold on, listen.
This bad boy, I mean, it's so
The
smooth and stuff.
the caramel really
The
comes.
caramel,
It's more subtle in the smell because you do get the ethanol, but
Right.
when you taste that caramel, like hello,
something like some sweet fruit,
yeah, it's
caramel. It's like a little fruity. Y'all don't even like to say the word. Still, a little fruity the taste.
Okay.
Little fruity.
But taste.
I mean,
It's, you
that's
know,
what we thought,
It's a
right?
little fruity.
I got some oak, and like I feel from like the back. It hits back there. That's some. See, you got. It's like almost like the smell of it. The smell, the taste of the oak. And you got some sweets, some dark
What you-
spices.
What you
No, I'm sitting there, I'm just
what
thinking.
you thinking, man?
because it's like the cinnamon comes out later.
Yeah.
Like the caramel, you just wait and it's like, okay, now the cinnamon, it sounds like that. You know, like we get like some cinnamon is like
Right.
you get that
Yeah,
that lingers, it's there, and it's like
That's the light spices I'm looking at, like the cinnamon. It's like the spices. It's like light. It's not too hard. Don't hit too hard.
So what he's saying, this would go good with my eggnog that I make. Just bourbon and my Hennessy and all that
I
stuff.
would say yeah, because me, I believe too, eggnog is not supposed to be knocky on your seat.
Right.
And sometimes you go to if you go with like cash strength, you go all the way up there, it's gonna kick through it.
Right.
This is a little bit, a little bit stronger than the 40.
Right.
Because 40 is just sometimes you're borderline on watering it down a little bit too much where the taste gets
Gotcha.
weak. But
Gotcha.
they got close, but this is more for the masses. Some of the 50%, 51%. Only real bourbon drinkers want to deal with that kind of heat.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I deal with it.
I
I deal with it.
No, we didn't. Yeah. It's all good. All right, let's see what we got next.
I deal with it with the pinky finger up.
Ooh-wee. Yes, sir. You got it. Let me read it for you.
Yeah, go ahead, because I can barely.
Who is protecting the mental and emotional well-being of young athletes beyond the pressure of performance, family dynamics, and the distraction of social media?
Oh man. So I mean, it's so hard. I mean, once you look at it, I mean, it's so different. Many different points. You look at it right there on that. I mean, you get the health, the mental health, the family relationships, the lives of the young athletes that we deal with. I mean, even starting from middle school to high school, there's so much pressure on them. As in, they don't. We might not understand that, but to them, at times, just by being parents and the teachers, I guess, as the coaches, it's pressure on them, and they don't feel like it, especially the ones who are really good at what they do. So you got, it's where you got some of them look to push through the pain at some time, and the pain of what the emotional health that they have. There's a lot of that underneath them that they don't, as you ask them, the scholarship dreams, the sports, where you got to deal with their sports schedules, the performance stress of what they all, take in through this. So that comes up to your counselors, your trainers, the teachers. They act as in they're the first responders to this. That's what they got to deal with. And the mentors with the athletes beyond the sports. Family means you value the open conversations. Now they got to have the open conversations with the athletes to be able to, talk about this. Now you say the athletes do. It's like, ask yourself as a person, your coach or your parent, or ask yourself, when's the last time you asked one of your children, your athletic children, how are you? Like really, without following up with a comment about their game. Just, don't even talk about it. How you feeling today? How you doing? How's it? Because don't take the easy road and just let them just get out of it and be like, all right, okay, that's fine. No, like dig it in. Like how are you? Like how's practice been all week? Because a lot of even like social media is a part of this. You have fans even a big part of is the stress, the pressure on these. Like, you know, coaches and parents to tell the athletes don't go on social media. You know, after those big games and stuff like that, big losses they take. You know, a lot of kids, you know, go with that, and you know, have them reflect upon themselves. Maybe have them write a journal. Talk about, you know, what's going on inside them if they don't even push it out, you know, among other people. Maybe have them seek a counselor, because there's so many different ways, you know, that they need to express themselves, that they don't seem bottled up and let the pressure just sit on them, because one day, you know, they're not going to win every game. They're not going to have the best of games in every game, and sometimes it just might get to them as in, you know, as in that they're not enough.
I think the social media aspect of it is really important.
Huge.
Unfortunately, you know, I do believe that, you know, resources is always a limiting factor, and I think unfortunately because it costs more to actively interact with thousands of athletes, we just get the ones that have a problem. We get the ones that act out. We get the ones that we're just recommended. We need to send you to counselor, all those type of things. I think the resource kind of limits, so it's kind of like there are a lot of that don't act out that might be dealing with some things, you know. But I feel like, you know, thinking about it even at a larger scale, I feel like it's definitely a fair question. I think sometimes we got to focus on like, is this really a fair? Like, nobody's answering that question. That needs to happen for a long time. It's like the financial literacy thing that the NBA instituted for rookies coming in.
Right.
They've been getting beat for decades, but all of a sudden it was just like finally, like, man, this is a fair question.
Right.
Now we've established that. Let's do something about it, because I mean those guys are coming. To your point about emotional well-being, imagine getting those kind of contracts and getting built by the wrong guy, you lose it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You think what's they gonna draft you to?
You know, there's a holistic, and if you're thinking about it, those guys need it, and they're 20, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. So high school is absolutely got to have it. Collegiate players got to have it. You know what I'm saying? And please don't let me get started on the pressure when you add gambling.
That's why you got a lot of those fans acting and saying what they do. But, you know, the thing about it, and you know, great question to me, and I can break it down. I'll break it down like this. So we'll start with the first one. Talk about the mental and emotional well-being of the young athletes, right? Pressure performance. But, you know, that pressure, it started at a young age from their parents. You know, a lot of people do not get out of their shell. And that's why you have some star dudes was a monster as a youth, don't play no more. The pressure of playing is not going to practices because daddy and mama and all that is, you know, not let this dude, boy or girl live.
Yeah.
You know, it's love sports. But you still got to do other stuff besides sports. You can train, you can do, I love it. I love when the kids tell us, hey, what do you like to do? I like to train with them. Okay, yeah, but I'm sure it's something else you like to do too. I get it. You browbeat them like that, and it affects the whole thing. Because if they fail, what do I fall on? What do I have next? Nothing. Because I was built to do this. That's what I was taught. Built to do this. So then now you got all the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
Depression, suicidal, all this kind of stuff because I only know how to do this.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You can't do that. But I'm not seeing it because as a family, with the family pressure, because you might be that one to get us up out of here. You might be that guy.
Man, I got to test.
Go ahead, brother.
Right
Go
quick.
ahead.
A friend of mine got married a few years ago in Mobile, Alabama. And we went down there, and, you know, I'm not going to put any particular areas of the city out, but I saw different poverty than I'm used to. You understand what I'm saying? It was like, the whole gas station boarded up and it's open. Oh, okay. I mean, but the point I'm trying to make is, I saw that's from that situation. Go look at the places a lot of offensive tackles and all. Go look at where they're from. Mm-hmm. These are not from big cities. This is not, you know, they're not all from Atlanta. They're not all from New York. They're from a lot of these small towns, and they are responsible for lifting 15, 20, 25, our whole family up out of poverty. That's pressure in high school.
Yeah.
Because if you're not following out, you won't get that scholarship. If you don't get that scholarship, you're never going to go to League Better Pool. All of us. That is a different kind of pressure to be your baseline.
Right.
And then we add on the social
that
media.
also goes back to who is protected. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, you have to have that person or people that brings you that balance in all this, right? Because you're expected in some circles to be this special person, right? This special athlete. This, you know what I'm saying? This is what we train for. This is what we do, right? Like you said, you're going to be the one to get us out of this whole situation. But there's also going to be that balance of, love. You know what I'm saying? Calm down. Everything's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? We'll work it out. We'll do this stuff, this, and you hope that they're getting this kind of balance, right? I feel like Pat Kelsey gives them that kind of balance, right?
Yes.
If you're in this thing, this is what you do. This is what you do. I feel like he would be like, all right, yeah, you're a great ball player, but let's go fishing. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do something that's not basketball, athletic related,
Right.
to bring perspective to everything that's going on, because you need that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like everybody is doing that. I don't feel like everybody is protecting these athletes because there's got to be money involved in it.
Yeah.
See, by saying that, I look at it as in a no sports talk. We're not going to talk about what you do. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to go do something, have like as in parent, do it frequently, once a week or so. Take some time for you and him or you and her or whatever else, and focus on them, who they are, what they do, what they want right now, what they're looking for in the future, not what they do at that point. But I want to get to as even, not just y'all or the people out there. It's like, are we cheering for their dreams, or are we soundly expecting them to carry ours?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, that,
Both.
the thing about it is,
Like
when you're in it and have experience, it's different. When you have been playing sports pretty much all your life, different things like that, you see it. Not everybody, and I'm talking about parental, have social skills. Maybe that's the only thing they can deal with and talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because I played it, I did it, my daddy did it. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's talk about, they don't even want to talk about their job, don't want to talk how hard it is and all this kind of stuff like that. So, somebody needs to step in. Maybe it's an uncle or whatever, but that's how they've been taught. And like Brian hit it, these small towns or even, these cities that everybody loves to go to, they got these hot pockets of poverty stricken, and that's the only way you can go to school and things like that. And, now you got a chance to earn money in college, and forget pro, like these guys, we talked about it with the women, Paige Becker and all these people making millions and stuff basically in college, making more money in college than you will the WNBA. Did the Unravel League, gonna get paid buku money over WNBA. I mean, it's like, hey, you smart to do that. Like, forget all this other stuff, and it's gonna come a time that you do have to make a decision that's good for you and your family, but not everybody has that opportunity. This is the realization.
That's ridiculous.
You may not make it. You know what I'm saying? To mom, to dad. And they go ballistic. They go crazy. Then you got the social media going on. The coach is a piece of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. Every time you go to these games, and we be on the high school level, and if Lil Johnny ain't playing, it ain't Lil Johnny's fault. It's the coach's fault. Are you at practice? Do you see Lil Johnny? Do you know what Lil Johnny doing? Every time somebody's on the sideline does not mean that it's the coach's fault. What is Lil Johnny doing? But you don't hear that? It's not. It ain't my son.
Start some practice.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't my son. So it's always, let's blame something else. So, and I would say this: social media can be devilish at times, but also it can be great sometimes for these kids to get their tapes out, for these coaches. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So it's you know, it's almost
61 half dozen of them.
Always good and bad.
You know, and you hate that because, like you said, with the bet, especially now with the collegiate, because you know, high school they ain't betting on them yet.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm surprised McDonald's All-American game wasn't on there.
I'm saying it's spreads.
You know what I'm saying?
Look hard on Twitter.
Yeah,
you
you
find
gonna
out.
find
They might be watching this. Don't give no idea.
But it ain't on FanDuel and all that
Right,
stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, that's coming.
It's in the back. It's in a neighborhood.
That's coming. Yeah, big time. All right, what's next?
How much do y'all still got quite a bit in class? Because I don't want to taste, like a Cuba, maybe a Cuba ice or something, to get the smooth it out. Just because you got to, even if you got to put a dab of water in there. Got that too.
Oh, he's perfect. So we done everything today. We got the Q's. We got the Q's. Yeah.
That's too big.
Y'all didn't know this, but Don wanted to have a projector so he can do the bullet points, but we stretched it out.
Like this.
So we
Look here.
He scratched that ass. Said, nah, bro.
We like to get straight to the point. Like, right here.
Bang!
And I got my pointer, my.
All that good stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
stuff.
Yeah, I got a doctor. Got a doctor at home, so she got all. She's fully equipped.
All right, fellas. Try one more again.
So like you said, you go down 500 East Main, you will find the Angel Envy right down there at the distillery. Nice tour, I must say. So yeah.
Yeah, the tour is real.
Mm-hmm.
The tour is real.
Oh yeah, that smoothed it out even tougher.
Yeah, the tour is real.
That became dangerous.
I like that has T Rock talk because now it's his man 50 something. So hey. So yeah, he might get a little something. We said at the beginning of the show. We did say at the beginning of the show.
It's always
Just in case y'all forgot how old he is.
So you know what? Tell you, Angel's Envy is known for its rich flavor profile, particularly its parcast finish, which imports the notes of fruit and chocolate. That's the imports the notes of that a lot. So you get that caramel, all that. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Angel Envy hard to man. So, but
love it
it's
on
good
the
smooth. Yeah, you'll find it.
And then one interesting factor about it, I'm not gonna spoil it, so if people want to go on a tour, but you see that there's that name right there, Lincoln. There's that Lincoln right there. Where they got a wall in there, and you'll see how there's such an interesting connection to a lot of the brands. You go back as families that branched out. It's like, oh, this one went and started this one went and started that. That's they've got a dedicated good 5-10 minutes to talking about that, and it's very interesting, man. So
That's tough.
It broke down right there on the ball.
yeah, it's
tough.
real.
Yeah,
nice.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's tough.
Angel Envy, good tour, no doubt. I would recommend it. Not too much too. Not too much.
All right, let's roll. Let's see what we got here. Utilizing money appropriately or properly, will schools benefit more for activity buses, nutritional meals, than $500,000 to $1 million football fields? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man. It still sticks with me because I know that back in the day, we had activity buses that took us, home and all this kind of stuff, different events, things. Also at meals that not just after the game type stuff that goes on, which I salute these teams because they do a great job having sponsors and all that. It's just that I just think that I get equal quality, all that kind of stuff like as far as these football fields. But when you have little leagues that's probably going to use these football fields more what could you have done with that money for that school? What can you do there? Football field ain't gonna make Ron G go play there. You know what I'm saying? Especially with everybody has it.
Yeah.
That's not gonna draw me to play. If I want to play football, I'm gonna pick the schools that I think is gonna be competitive enough. I just think it's so many things, or even 500, 1 million, a million. You have esports, big as hell. You got schools that maybe they need new computers compared to this football field. You know what I'm saying? That everybody's gonna play on, except somebody else in these little leagues. There's other sports that I think that you probably could have gave them a piece of that pie and done well with, and they'd have been okay. I'm not trying to call out no school airport stuff like that. That knowing that there's other stuff in that school, you know what I'm saying, Western. You know what I'm saying? There's just different schools that really it's not going. They may have one good year out of the blue moon, right? So it's like, what are we talking about? But it's other activities in that school that you could have did it for. I'm not going to these schools that man, you'll have to get ready to have a monster stadium revamp and get the field. Males get ready to have their field. San Trinity already have this field, been having that kind of field for a while. Ballard, all these schools that really, you know what I'm saying, Cal, they already got it. I'm going to concentrate on that. So it didn't really help them out at the end. Chinese field looked great. Love it. I love that. But when you still only have 50 people in the but what are we doing here? Aviation, you could have just, it didn't have to be sports. Get back to the aviation program. They got these people going there, these kids and doing all that kind of stuff. And what's bigger? What's bigger in high school, right? Like, what's going to bring them out? Is this e-game? Because everybody don't have e-gaming, right? Is e-gaming going to bring more people to that than the football team? Some of these schools, yes. Some of these schools. So let's go ahead and invest and do some stuff that's really going to be worth it.
Right. Well, whose decision is it? Is it the board saying we're going to put a football field in that school, or is it the board, or is it the school saying we need a football field here and the board's approving? I mean, I just don't know the difference. If it's the school saying we need a football field here, then they're fools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not capitalizing on what you currently have at your school. If the board is saying we're going to put a football field at your school, then why would you say no?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
cool. You know what I'm saying?
But can you allocate it? But that's as an AD or whoever's over that. Need to say that. Come on, no, we excel at this. We don't even have a softball field. Some of these schools don't have softball. Let's build that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree.
But I got go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't feel like, if the board is going to say we're going to do it, you're not going to say no. But if the school is saying this is what we need, then they're not.
And if the board
they're
is saying it, they
not
let you know how out of touch they are.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It doesn't make much sense to me. To go that route. It's either the school or the board for me. It just doesn't make sense.
I feel like if, sometimes it's just about not necessarily good enough versus state of the art. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Okay, so let's say we have maintained our fields, there's bare spots in it, grass, green onions growing all in there. Okay, give us some money. give us some money. Let's resod it. Let's get it back up to standard. Where we got a nice little field here. Right. It may not necessarily be rip it all out, put in turf and sport grass and all this kind of stuff. When we know we have other needs, you understand what I'm saying? I think for me that's where I'm at with it is. Do we have to go a whole brand new state our football state?
Right.
Or can we get our bathrooms together? Get the sod squared away. Let's get the sod squared away. We've got a nice playing surface, and then let's see what else we can do with the rest of it.
I mean, just like I said, I want to look at it. You got the board, you got the head of the athletic department. I believe they will have a say so in discussing. Do we got principals? The whole, discussing this. The athletic directors of the schools discussing like what do we need. But even the principals should be more of a, I guess, in touch with. No, we don't. No, we really don't need to leave it new field. We need, like you said, new computers down in the science department. We our thing is, you know, you got schools now that are building robotics. I'm hearing different things about different schools each and every week now. Because I got, you know, just in house. But it's like what as in different places where they visit. It's like so many different things that could be used for it, and especially they millions and stuff just a field. I mean, all these fields ain't the worst. I mean, you could upgrade their the stands or something. Upgrade the concession stands. Put them where they got
like Franklin.
Or put them where they got a curry board. Charcuterie board. I mean, you know, you can do different things, but every field you don't have to be spending millions and millions because we could separate that money to make these schools better. I mean, hell, some of these schools, you know, need new MacBooks or whatever they use in what are the books? Chromebooks. Not MacBooks, yeah, the Chromebooks and stuff like that. I mean, or you can from the high school, we could step down to the middle schools and stuff. You using all this money just for the high schools, get them ready for the high schools, get them ready for the make that next step because all these kids ain't. I mean, there's so many different things they could be doing with this money other than, you know, that in, like you said, back in the day. Did they even have activity buses like they used to back in the day?
Yeah, they don't even got school buses to take these
To
kids
take
to
them to
school.
school. They just had to bring back like 4 buses to those schools just to be like, okay, I think this will work. We're gonna have, you know, Manuel, Butler. Yeah, Butler was one of them. I think Ballard or something like that they can go. But at the beginning of the school year, no, they cut everything. So it made kids and parents had to make a decision like, hell, I can't even get my kid to school, so I got to go this way. But y'all want to use money for, hey, let's, you know, Manuel's 100th or 50th or whatever it is for their stadium, and let's redo the whole thing. It's a land.
And you had to. See, you had to because you started. Yeah, you started with all these other schools, so you had to do this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's about where they're putting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're putting fields in those communities. We'll just say it like that, right? That's where you're putting these fields, right? So, if everything was even, so to speak, you would put these fields in, you know what I'm saying, where they would actually matter, and then put said money, so like you said, with the esports. You know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, and I'm not even talking about, I think as far as nutrition, I think all that is fantastic, but you put the money to where what's going to put that school above. Obviously, every school is not going to have a fantastic football team, but I'd be damned if like Western ain't going to have a badass esports team.
You hope.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to have the best Counter-Strike team, the best Call of Duty team in the state. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you put said money. You know, and again, if I knew who made these decisions, you know what I'm saying, that's the whole thing for me. I just don't know who's making these decisions.
I would love to, and I'll follow up on a different show. I'm gonna look at the ranking. I'm gonna look at the esports ranking and see, even if Western even is on there, because we know they built that the builder they become. I like to see what is it doing.
Yeah.
Are they utilizing that? Or did we waste money? Because you got some other schools that's been doing this for years that are not private schools.
Exactly. They have to. It's just like every other thing. You have to get these recruit kids to come and play esports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was unbeknownst to me, and I know this is a college thing, but I went to go see my son in college. He goes to a small liberal arts college in Missouri. And apparently they have an esports team that's just off the chain. Like, just crazy good. You know what I'm saying? Because they reached out and grabbed these kids.
Right.
And got them come to schools. That's what, if that's going to be your thing, then that should be your thing, and you should have a lot of leeway to do these kind of things. again, I just want to, again, I go back to this. I just want to know who's making these decisions. I don't know if it's the board or the schools, because if it's the board, nobody's going to say no. And if it's the schools, then you need to hire better people. I mean, really,
On both ends.
yeah,
Really on both ends.
you're going to
Because
put all these football fields. in
You
poor
basically
schools.
build Weston and they ain't no esports. I mean, give them opportunity. And think about it with the esports, these kids are actually having the ability, chances to get scholarships to
Yeah.
colleges. Just like this flag football of
Yeah.
these girls.
Yeah.
What are we doing with that? Every school does not have that. Can we go ahead and take some of that money and fund that for some girls at these other schools?
I think some of it too is, you have to whatever you do, you have to commit to it.
Yes.
You have to commit on both sides.
True.
So, right now, football is the only sport from a marketing perspective that is committed to across all the schools.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay.
We commit to
That's
esports over
basketball.
here. We might commit to girls across over here. We might commit, but it's only pockets. Football is the one, and I think that's why the magnet is there. I think if you market all of them, then you'll see the full blossom, and then it's like, oh, now it makes sense for us to spend money here on girls lacrosse, for example. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you'll have some schools like, yeah, we have a team, but then they play assumption. You see schools
Right.
invested in
Yeah.
girls lacrosse, and
True.
it don't look good. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's just, I think that's part of it too. It's kind of like, well, because it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because we market football, football's going to get the need magnet,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
therefore
you're right.
the money's
Of course,
going to get
of course.
attracted. You see
Yeah,
what
of
I'm
course.
saying?
But my thing is, you don't have to put 500 to $1 million.
And that's what when you
That's
market.
my thing.
But I look at like market segments. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
You
right.
can market football, but when you market this other stuff too
Right.
and commit to it, the money's going to follow.
Well, it's
But
like
that's
college.
not what they're doing.
It's like college sports.
Yeah.
These other schools are non-revenue sports, but because of football makes all the money and basketball, they didn't give out.
As a great example, football is on from week 0 all the way through the championship.
Right.
All kind of games on. They don't even start showing girls softball
Right.
till the records are like 20 something. and
Seven.
I mean, they already played
Yeah.
25, 30 games, and now you see Oklahoma. Now you're
Yeah,
seeing
oh, yeah.
these teams on there, and it's like, man,
Right.
they're real good. How do you know? Because they already played 40 games.
Right.
It's like, where were they at before? Because the marketing. Like, now that there's a gap, okay, now we'll market. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
And plus, another thing is real quick, when you have these different sports, like e-sport and everything, you can't have your head coach cannot be somebody who's the biology teacher never done it.
Right.
That don't make sense. The janitor that's you know what I'm saying?
You got free
This
time
guy-
afternoon.
Yeah, I played badminton a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like a bad B movie.
right. You can't invest in that and be like, there you go.
That's half committed.
It's like a bad
We'll see how it happens.
Yeah,
We'll see what's going on.
That kid got beat up and the
Yeah.
janitor said he was trying how to fight.
Can you coach? We need a coach. Yeah.
You know, I do something about spare time.
Yeah, I'll play a little bit of video.
Right. Man, I used to play techno ball back in the day.
Yeah.
I can lead him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I was good at Contra.
How much I paying?
Double dribble.
Double dribble.
Anything else on the Bourbon, or do we go to the last question?
I mean, okay, so then we're gonna talk about the finish. Oh, I guess I'm
Well,
You already know about the finish.
done.
You already know about the finish.
See, there we
Yeah,
go.
that shit.
He's finished.
He's finished.
Finish him.
Ooh-wee.
All right. So, let's
Yeah, go ahead, give me the gun, please.
Let me get it right here because you got to get that cord and tilt
Is it the
and
tilt?
spin that bottom.
Okay, look at you.
In that bottle.
Bartender.
Are you good,
No,
Ron?
no, I'm fine.
Are you good?
No,
You
you're
said
talking about
fine?
spinning the
Ain't that back?
Yeah, that's
back
another
in the
show.
day, eh?
That's That's another show. This is not this show.
Boy, they know
This is sports.
No, we not. We
We're
we
not
gonna
spinning
stay
the
away
pot.
from
This is sports.
We gonna stay away
We're not
from
spinning the
that.
bottle today. Nah.
So we're gonna talk about the finish of this fine bottle of Angel's Envy here. So the finish is it's like a long and sweet. Got some oak balance to it. Like pretty warm in the back, as of course you say.
You gotta have the pinky out, man. Y'all ain't got that pinky out.
So you gotta, it's just so smooth, man. I'm telling you, Angel Envy is some of the, it's a bad boy. I'm telling you, man, because the thing about it, you'll sit here and drink it and pour another one, or order another one. Next thing you know, that 4 in, and you might be feeling a little something.
That's what tastes. Their sweetness. I suspect the sweetness is because of the high percentage of corn in the mash bill. You know, corn's a starch, so a lot of people. That's why some people can't drink Maker's Mark. Now, Maker's Mark is very good for gluten free because over 100% corn they don't have wheat and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people don't drink it because it gives them headache. But it's the 100% corn. That corn makes it gonna give them a little sweet.
Right.
This would happen. This is 70+% in the bill is corn. So I think that really comes out. But from a finish perspective, it leaves you with that, makes you want to pour another one. Because it leaves you with that flavor. Like, I don't mind tasting it a little bit more.
But really, does it take 4? Then you start feeling it? Or does it less than 4 dollars?
I would give the typical drinker, it probably would be, a couple. You'll just have a couple. You'll start feeling it. But but it's the thing. My thing is when I get asked, it's funny, as in the bartender or whatever else, I'm drinking and I get asked my drink's low.
Right.
And they come, can I get you another? I look, might as well. That's kind of like a motto. It's just like, I might as well. I'm here, I'm drinking. I'm not at that point.
So you're like the schools when Jefferson County, when the board says, "Hey, I got this money for you. You gonna take it?"
Then I say,
Yes.
I might as well take it. Everybody else is taking it. Everybody else is
Give
taking it.
Pull one for me, please.
So,
I need another football season.
So I need this game to go in overtime. But anyway, so we're gonna look at we'll finish it off right here. This will be the last we talk. As in, we'll say the price. The price is gonna go from $30 to $40. It all depends where you get it. Your local Kroger's. You might find it good. It's in $29 at times. And then you might find this is highest maybe $42. But at the same time, I think it's well worth it. This is something you're gonna sit back and relax and sip on. This ain't something, like I said, you gotta think of the bourbons that you're gonna push down and drink and indulge, and there's some bourbons where you're gonna mix, and there's some bourbon, like I said, I'm one to do straight neat mostly. Okay. And maybe a cube or so. But the price is because the cash strength rye is gets the price is some of them, because some of the Angels Envy though, once you get to messing with the name, messing with it, because I got one sitting back at home. I do believe it was over 100 and something for the bottle, and it's sitting there on a nice little Angels Envy pedestal, and just looking at me with a little silver chain around his neck with the wings on. Yeah. So it's because you got the cash strength rye. It gets that price going up. Because it's released at a limited quantities are released very few. So during that price, it makes it up because the quantities are not a lot. So it increases by demand and the collector's appeal of the bourbon. So that
should be fine because Canada sent they back, so we're good.
The next topic.
Well, okay.
all right, we can move right along.
The finisher.
Like I said, the Angels Envy.
The finish.
Just we said 500 Main Street, Angels Envy. It was built 2016. That's how long it's been there. And hey, go visit.
Woo, okay. All right. That was different. You got it, Ron?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Gave him pull up.
So the
info.
last one is the House versus NCAA settlement. Will it cause the end of non-revenue sports? So just in case any of our viewers don't know what I'm talking about, the House versus NCAA settlement, there is a settlement that's still working its way through the courts, not quite finalized, but oversimplifying is going to make it basically a $20 million pot that schools are going to have to be able to pay their athletes. And so the question is that once that limit's in place, will that cause the end of non-revenue sports? In my opinion, I don't know about the end, but I know it's going to have an effect. It might not be the end of all sports, but some sports might be in trouble. I think this bleeds real well to the conversation we had earlier. A quarterback wants $4 million. You got $20 million to pay all the athletes for all the sports.
Wow.
I just want to let that
So
sit.
basically,
Yeah,
basically
that's-
a cap.
Yeah, I'm going to let that sit.
Let it marinate.
So one player
Everybody
wants
can.
4, another player wants 2.5. Oh, now we have that's 2. I just named a quarterback, wide receiver.
Right.
Now your basketball player, he wants 3, and I got another that wants $1.5 million. Oh, that's half. My baseball team needs some. My women's basketball team needs some. That is the concern.
Woo.
That is the concern that I have, is because I feel like they've let the market go too high.
Oh yeah.
And now you're going to put a cap in that teams that are currently constructed are going to have to explode.
Oh yeah.
$20 million. I mean, there are some teams that are paying 9 or 10 for one team,
Right.
and another 5 or 6 for another. Unless we're just ready to fold the tents on rowing and cross country and track and all these other sports that don't get the TV time until the end of the season at best. That's going to be something that's going to have to come in. There's going to have to be. It's almost going to be like a rookie wage scale in college.
Right.
Something that brings those values down to where now maybe a quarterback gets $1 million.
Gonna have to be that.
Maybe your star basketball player gets $1.5 million, because if that doesn't happen, a lot of non-revenue sports are going to get mighty close to the top of the block.
And it's gonna be up to you as a department where you.
Yeah, buddy.
If my basketball team
Yeah,
is garbage and football is non-existent,
Yep.
but we're good with baseball
Yeah.
and volleyball, then that's. And
Yeah.
really, in this one, I think, is this the one basically they gonna become employees?
Pretty
So-
much, because the school now is paying that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, all this other stuff that's going on now is not gonna exist.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's
So
you better get your money right now.
Well, they think it's not going to exist. Let me
Okay.
fix it.
Well,
They think it's not
going back how it used to be.
wow. So are we saying that now we pushed everything out to a certain number? So are we saying no more boosters or no more sponsors and everything else get paid? Or is it all going to be coming straight from the schools now?
Well, to me though, going back on this basically cap, this is when NIL, because to me you can still make the money off your commercials,
Right.
like you're
Yeah.
supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can
Yeah.
still. So
Yeah.
if you do that basic cap and you do work out the numbers, Ryan's star quarterback, but okay, we got a meal for you, but we also got this outside money, the collective is gonna take care. So that's how they're gonna.
They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can't be one of them one hand and crap with the other. See which one fills up the fastest.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. That's what it's going to end up being.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, I think the non-revenue team will suffer.
Oh
I was
Yeah.
thinking the
yeah.
same
You gotta
thing.
pick. You gotta
Yeah.
pick.
You know what I'm saying? The things, there has to be special schools, like, for instance, we can talk about basketball's coming up, football's coming up, volleyball's good.
Yeah.
We got a, decent baseball. We got a good baseball team. You know what I'm saying? Softball, starting to rise. Soccer was great for a while.
Was great.
It fell off. Swimming at this point.
Ooh,
is,
yeah.
Swimming is fantastic. So you're going to have to figure out how to pay these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Collective.
Yeah.
502 circle is going to
Yeah.
be. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
You get the
That's what's gonna
standard.
have to
You
be.
get the standard pay. Basically, everybody's going to get paid. Divide it. Do whatever you got to do, but you still gonna be able to get the big ones because 502 circle and all that's going to be the ones who navigate that.
It's going to be interesting to see how the NCAA attempts to enforce.
Right.
Because, I mean, they already weren't very good at it. But now you say
Wild,
that
Wild West.
at least back then, it was black and white.
Right.
You can't pay them. No, we're not saying they weren't paying them. But the rule said you can't pay them. So as soon as we find $1, we can go all in. Now, some of the money's illegal, some of the money ain't.
Yeah.
How much of that came from? It's going to make the gray area is going to be very difficult to navigate. And unfortunately for the NCAA, that's already part of the PR problem that they have, is that you treat this school one way and you treat this school another way. And that's where the black and white rule. Now it's gray.
Gray area.
Now we can. Now the conspiracy theories are gonna run wild. Of ain't no way Alabama paid $20 million for all of them.
Right.
That's 30, 40, and then you ain't doing it but putting it back like it was.
But also
the boosters, the ones that got the most money, the ones that want to commit the most. What happened?
Well, and also you got the Power 5 schools, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas. They're gonna be fighting that because they're gonna be like, well, why we got 20 like everybody else? How come we ain't got 50 and 75?
Because
we got our own. We
Yeah.
got our own TV. You know what I'm saying? Network. What we look like this doing 20
Yes.
we make more. So
That's
that
gonna
ain't
be out
make
of
sense.
control.
Yeah.
That's just going to be out of control when you have the Power 5 conferences talking about how we're going to be limited to a certain amount to the same as the mid-majors.
And where that money going at? Where that other money going
Yeah.
at? Like,
Yeah.
so, they already
Yeah.
make 60, 70 million. If you do 20, where's this other going at?
Backdoor handshakes, I guess. I mean, because it's going to be back pockets. It's a lot of going to be going on. I just don't see how they're even going to be able to be managed. They're going to have a whole department in their books, in the books of these schools. I mean, that's going to be a lot of schools.
To your point, you see all these schools hiring general managers.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Because it's to the point you need somebody fully.
But you need real general managers.
I mean,
You got some that got players. They ain't got no time to do that. You know what I'm
But see,
saying?
I think a lot of that is you have inexperienced athletic directors trying to hire these people. They're just getting a name.
Right.
They don't even know what it takes to be a GM, so they're not hiring the right people. They don't even know how to have the right interview.
Well, Ice Trains won Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? These boys, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, really?
We got Davidson. We got Mr. Carey. So,
I mean, they might be able to tell you, hey, I evaluate him. He looks pretty good as a player. He looks pretty good.
He was at the
But now we need
camp.
you to help us get this NIL together for women's volleyball.
that's when they're
We
going
got
to hire
trouble.
somebody
Right.
else.
Right.
They're going to
What do
hire
you mean?
somebody else to do
What do
it.
you mean?
We got trouble.
Yeah. That's when
What
they
do you
can bring
mean?
somebody
Yeah.
else to hire.
Yeah.
That general manager will have assistant general manager to take care of that.
She's gonna have an assistant. All kinds of-
Right. You're going to have a GM of basketball operations, GM
right.
of all.
A whole new department.
Yeah.
Whole new department.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it's going to
Yeah.
take.
Wow. That's tough. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up this way. I want to thank everybody for joining the Bourbon with a Splash of Sports big time. Thank you for watching and supporting 54 Sports Network. Continue to do that. We love it. Thank you guys for been watching and commenting and all this stuff. And you guys should be familiar with what we get ready to do next. So, T-Rock, what you leaving the people with?
Everybody have a great weekend. I know I will. I'm going to play some golf. I am going to a couple of beer events.
Oh.
And I'm going to end up my birthday week just fantastic. Mainly golf.
Woo. Ryan,
I'm sorry, WrestleMania.
he didn't have to say that. They heard him. Ron G, what you leaving the people with?
I just want to tell everybody have a great weekend. Have a happy Easter weekend. Hope the kids find all the eggs. Hopefully the rain holds off for them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have a good time out there. Be safe.
Sure. But Don,
Hey, I'm just going to tell you, you know what I'm saying, for your kids, from everybody else, you know, as we was talking about earlier, you know, you're looking for success. Success just doesn't. Okay, let's start this. Success doesn't. Success doesn't just happen. You need to believe, plan, take action, and never give up, no matter what. Success will come.
hey, thank you guys. Happy Easter to everybody. Make sure you enjoy your family. Take time with each other. Appreciate each other. Yeah, we had a big week this week as far as 54 Sports Network. You know, we had some stuff that we hit home, suicide prevention, things like that. So make sure you check on each other. Make sure you love each other. It's free. It doesn't cost to make sure somebody's doing well. So God bless you guys. Y'all know how we do. It is what it is. God bless. Peace out.